Well, guys, we made it. We made it. Super Bowl 59, end of the season. It's been one hell of a ride. I love it. Like I told you guys multiple times, this was my most profitable year yet in the NFL. It has been awesome. I'm so sorry to see it go because, it gets kind of bum humbug after the NFL for a lot of people. I do like the NBA and I do love baseball, so I'll still be doing videos for those. So pay attention for that. But it does suck that the NFL is going. But it is sweet. It is awesome. It is great that my Philadelphia Eagles, you heard that right, my Eagles made it to the Super Bowl. 2 years ago, they lost by a field goal kick, and now they are back. And I love to see it. You got to admit, I love it. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Love it. I've been loving the Eagles since Donovan McNabb got drafted out of Syracuse when I was like a young teenager. I love them ever since then. And it is so great. So great to see the Philadelphia Eagles back in the Super Bowl. So you guys know who I'm going to be rooting for. I told you guys last week I didn't care if they covered the spread as long as they made the Super Bowl, and they did. And they did cover the spread, just like I said. Blew out the Washington Commanders. And let's just jump on that game a little briefly. Commander fans, where are you guys? You guys were in my TikTok comments saying, "Oh, Commanders, they're on a roll. This rookie quarterback, he's going to just, he's going to be the first rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl." No, 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 no. You guys got lucky in the second game of the season, and you guys thought you were game busters. Jaden Daniels is great, but the Eagles had the better roster by a country mile, okay? So, sorry, Commander fans. Better luck next year if you make it, because it's hard to make to the playoffs. But the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, and of course they play the evil empire that is the Kansas City Chiefs. They took the helm from the Patriots, and now they're the evil empire with Taylor Swift watching Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes flopping to get calls for him. We're playing the evil empire, and I like our chances. So, guys, with all that, like and subscribe. It goes a long way. Like I said, I had my most profitable year yet in the NFL. So if you watch me, you made a profit. I'm going to give my overall record for the whole season at the end of the Super Bowl, and I'm telling you guys, I'm already above 55%, which is the best mark you want. That's the mark you want to be if you want to be a professional bettor. I'm not calling myself a professional bettor, but I'm over the 55% mark in my NFL predictions. And I love baseball and I love basketball, so I'll be doing those as well. We break it down each MLB team, other acquisitions, all the free agents they lost, all that jazz. And we're going to predict or try to predict their record and go over under on those baseball teams. And we'll touch on basketball as well, like I said. So let's do it. Let's break down Super Bowl 59. The Kansas City Chiefs going for their third Super Bowl against my Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl 2 times in the last 3 years. So let's get after it. Break down the game. Let's break down the Super Bowl from before, the players, all of it. Let's get after it. Let's go. Now let's briefly touch on the Super Bowl from 2 years ago where the Chiefs beat the Eagles by 3 points. I want to break that game down just a little bit. I watched it multiple times before I made this video. And, there's some players still on this Eagles team from that team, and they're the same with the Kansas City Chiefs, but there are some big differences now. Obviously, the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs won that game by 3 points. The biggest difference I see in this game is the running back room for the Eagles. The Eagles' lead rusher was Miles Sanders. Now we have Barkley. That's like an orange to an elephant. You know what I mean? It's like we had a running back who was not so great. You saw what he's doing for the Carolina Panthers. He's been terrible since he left the Eagles to go play for the Panthers. And we have Barkley, who now he has a great offensive line. He looks like a full-blown Hall of Famer running back, the best running back in the league now, okay? So there's a big difference right there from the two teams from the 2 years ago, okay? So Miles Sanders gone, Barkley's in. That makes a Miles difference. Running back is still the same. Oh, just to touch back on the running back in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, the team rushed the Eagles 32 times that game for 115 yards, and they only averaged 3.6 yards a carry. That is not great. Jalen Hurts led that team in rushing during that Super Bowl. That's not going to happen again with Barkley at the helm in the running back room. So just letting that's the big difference on offense I see. Wide receivers the same. The offensive line has changed a bit for the Eagles. We'll jump on that a little later. But as I was watching the game, you look at the stats of that Super Bowl from 2 years ago, the Eagles led in time possession. total yards. They let in first downs. They let in sacks. So if anybody saw that game, they'd be like, oh man, the Eagles probably won this. And they just look at the statistics alone. But obviously they didn't. The Kansas City led in yards per play and turnovers. And the Eagles led in penalties. No surprise there. So, and that one turnover the Kansas City Chiefs did cause led to a touchdown. And that's the biggest difference. After watching this game, Kansas City Chiefs only won them because their back were to the ropes. They were looking like not too great. And I would say this team who's playing the Super Bowl that will be played this Sunday, Super Bowl 59, is a tad worse than the Super Bowl, the team from 2 years ago. So the Kansas City Chiefs only won that game because of two different things, two small things. Well, one being a very big thing. The Eagles fumbled the ball. Jalen Hurts, he fumbles the ball as they're moving down the field again. It would probably look like they're going to score, at least get a field goal out of it. And Hurts he's one-handing the ball and he fumbles it and it gets taken back for a touchdown. If that doesn't happen, the Eagles win the game. They don't. The Chiefs don't win by a field goal, okay? So that turnover, that one mistake led the Chiefs to win. And the second thing, which is, after watching the game, you notice the Eagles special team, and more particular, the punter, was terrible. He kept on giving the Chiefs good field position, especially on one of the last punts, or I think the last punt the Eagles did. The guy brought it all the way to almost the 50-yard line because of bad punt play. Oh no, it was past the 50-yard line because of bad special teams play by the punter. That punter, thank God, is gone. And now we have Man, who is really better, who's really great, and he's way better than that punter from 2 years ago. So those are the big reasons why the Kansas City Chiefs won 2 years ago. They got a turnover and they turned into a touchdown, and because of the bad special teams play. Watch that game over and over again. Chiefs defense couldn't hold the Eagles. Same thing with the Eagles. The Eagles defense could have been a little better, but both defenses looked terrible. But the one thing was that defensive touchdown and the bad special teams play by the punter. Now let's break down this roster, and more particular, let's break down the starters for each team. And you tell me, I'm gonna pick who I think is the better players. But you tell me when I break this down, who do you like? What roster do you like? Okay, so let's break down the starters. Okay, obviously we're taking the quarterback is better in Kansas City. Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in all of the NFL. So we're definitely taking Kansas City has the better quarterback. Now let's talk about the running back. That's not even close as well. The Eagles have the best running back in all of football. Pacheco and Hunt are good, but they're not excellent. They're not great. They're not making the Hall of Fame. Barkley is. So we're taking Barkley, the running back. What wide receivers are you taking? We are definitely taking the Eagles wide receivers. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are miles ahead of all the Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers, okay? We don't have to talk about the depth. If you want to talk about depth, okay, I'm still giving it to the Eagles. Eagles have the better wide receivers, no shadow of a doubt. Let's talk about tight end. I'll give the slight edge to the Kansas City Chiefs. I say slight edge because if it was Goddard and Kelsey, I might take Goddard. And I know people are saying, oh, you're nuts. Kelsey's a Hall of Famer. But nobody can say that Kelsey does not look slower. He looks slower like nobody's business. From 2 years ago, when I watched the Super Bowl just recently, and when they played against the Eagles, Super Bowl 57, Kelsey was a different man. This year, he is slower by a country mile. But I give a slight edge to the Kansas City Chiefs because of their backup tight end, Gray. He is a great backup tight end. He's really good, and I think he could be a starter in this league. So I'll give the slight edge to the Eagles, but nobody can doubt that Kelsey is definitely slower, and I don't think he's going to be doing too great in this game. But so now let's get to the offensive line. Left tackle, a million times better. The Eagles left tackle. We don't even know who's going to play left tackle. It's probably going to be Tooney for the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's a left guard who moves to left tackle. So are you going to take Tooney, who's not his natural position, over an all-pro left tackle or a Pro Bowler? He's definitely a Pro Bowler this year. In the Eagles, no. We're taking the left tackle from the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk about left guard. because Tooney is going to play left tackle. It's some backup left guard. Are you going to take him over Landon Dickerson from the Eagles, 2-time All-Pro? No, we're taking Landon Dickerson. He's one of the best left guards. You could arguably say he is the best left guard in the league. So we're taking the left guard for the Eagles. For the center, we are taking the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, I think his name's Humphrey. I always forget his name. He's better than Jurgens, and also Jurgens is hurt. But Jurgens, I would say, is a top 10 center in this league. But we're going to take the Kansas City Chiefs center. We're also going to take the Chiefs right guard. Even though Mikael Beckham is great, he had a resurgence in his career, but the right guard for the Kansas City Chiefs is one of the best right guards in all of football. He's definitely top 3, so we're definitely taking the right guard for the Chiefs. Right tackle, it's not even close. Juwan Taylor for the Eagles. For the Kansas City Chiefs. He leads the league like in penalties or holding. He's not so great. He's let a lot of sacks allowed comparison to the rest of the offensive line. So no, we have Lane Johnson for Philadelphia Eagles. The guy is a Hall of Famer. He's still playing at an excellent high level, and he made the Pro Bowl. So we're taking the right tackle for sure. Now let's get to the defense side of the football. The defensive line, it's a mixed bag. Who do you want, Chris Jones or Jalen Carter? Who do you want? Now, they're both excellent, both top 5, top 3 defensive tackles in this league. It's all gonna depend on you. Eagles fan, I'm taking the more youthful Wrecker and Jalen Carter. Okay, that guy leads. I think he leads the league in double teams on the offensive lineman. Double team him more than any other defensive lineman in the league. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he's in the top 5. Okay, so give me Jalen Carter. Give me the youth. He's very ferocious. I know he gets in trouble a lot, but that guy has a lot of aggression. So give me Jalen Carter over Chris Jones. I know a lot of people are going to get crazy about that, but give me the younger guy. Also, who are you going to take? Josh Sweat or Kalafakis, or for what the hell you say, the defensive end for the Kansas City Chiefs? They're about similar. They think they both have like 8 or 9 sacks each. That's another mixed bag. Who do you want? Eagles have also Milton Williams. He's one of the better underrated defensive tackles in the league. And they also have Davis, the other Georgia guy who played 2 years ago on the Eagles, and he's much better this year. This is his best year, actually, since he's been drafted as a rookie. So I give a slight favor and defensive line to the Philadelphia Eagles. I know Chris Jones is a monster, and they have the good defensive end in Kalafakis, wherever the hell you say it, but I'm giving the slight edge to the Eagles. Linebacker, it's not close. I don't care what you say, Kansas City Chiefs fans. Bolton is not gonna be the top 5 defensive player of the year this year. Zach Bond will be top 5. I'm hearing he's going to be top 2, top 3 for sure. And I'm hearing people might pick them number 1 from beat writers who actually vote for it. Bolton is not on the list. I'm sorry. And it just sucks that the Eagles don't have Dean. He got hurt in the first game against the Eagles. If he was playing, the linebacker room would be for sure overwhelming for the Philadelphia Eagles. But when it comes to the middle linebacker, I'm taking Zach Bond over Bolton. And Oren Burks, the guy who's replacing Nakobe Dean, he's been playing excellent. Go watch. Don't take it from me. Go listen to Chris Sims. Go listen to other guys. He is playing excellent since taking that spot since Dean got injured. So I'm taking the linebackers over the Eagles linebackers over the Kansas City linebackers just because of Zach Bond. The guy's an animal and he's all over the field. Let's talk about cornerbacks. Not even close. You're taking. I know McDuffie. He is great, but Watson, he's now just healthy, so I can't take an off-injured corner from 2 guys who are playing great. Darius Slay and Quinyon Mitchell, who's also going to be he's going to be in the top 3 for sure in defensive rookie of the year. So Quinyon Mitchell, Darius Slay, and Cooper DeJean. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw a lot of mock drafts who were saying if they would do redrafting. Cooper DeJean, who was a 2nd-round pick, people are saying he'd be a top 15 top pick or the top corner in that draft that just passed. So give me the Eagles corners way over the Kansas City corners. And safeties, I am taking the Eagles safeties. They got Reed. Kansas City gets Reed. He is good. The other guy, he's average. I forget his damn name, but give me the Eagles and Blankenship and CJ Gardner-Johnson. CJ Gardner-Johnson, just watch the playoffs. That guy is everywhere. I've never seen a safety who just launches his body and stops 3rd and 3s and he hits them in the backfield. Just watch the playoff games, guys. Okay? Special teams, we are giving to the definitely giving to the Kansas City Chiefs. Buckner, I don't like that guy, but the guy is a hell of a kicker, and he's better than Jake Elliott. And the punter, even though we have a better punter from 2 years ago from the previous Super Bowl, the Eagles punter is better man. So we're giving the special teams to the Kansas City Chiefs. And more importantly, people say maybe the most important thing other than quarterback, coaching. I will definitely give the Kansas City Chiefs the better coaching staff. I think Vic Fangio is one of the better defensive coordinators in this league, but Spags is arguably the best defensive coordinator in the league. And Andy Reid is the best head coach in the league. There's no argument about that. So I'm giving the coaching staff the benefit of the doubt. I'm just giving the coaching staff to the Kansas City Chiefs over the Philadelphia Eagles. But call me biased if you will. I don't care. The Philadelphia Eagles have the better roster. They just do. The biggest argument the Kansas City Chiefs have is that we have the better quarterback and we have the better head coach, which means a lot in this game. But I'm sorry. I would take the whole Eagles defense, damn near every player, over the Kansas City Chiefs defense. The only argument is Chris Jones, but that's a big debate. Jalen Carter, Chris Jones. Do you want a person who's much younger, has more juice, or do you want somebody who's more experienced and still an animal in Chris Jones? That's the only person I might take over is Chris Jones. Other than that, I'm not taking probably not one defender over an Eagles defender. That's it. I'll probably just take Chris Jones. So give me the more dominant defense when it comes to this roster. But I think the Eagles have the way better roster than the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Chiefs been proving people wrong, and they have the better coach and the better quarterback. So do what you will with that. Eagles have a better roster, but the Chiefs been proving people wrong this whole season. So do what you will with that. All right, now let's go over this Super Bowl, Super Bowl 59. We briefly talked about the Super Bowl from 2 years ago, comparing the rosters from then till now and the gameplay. But now let's break down this matchup. We have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Eagles, obviously. Chiefs being fair by 1.5 and the over-under being 49 points. The Chiefs went 15-2, number 1 in the AFC. They defeated the Texans and the Bills to get here to the Super Bowl. Now let's break down their offense and defense. The Chiefs have the 9th ranked defense during the season. Their pass defense ranks 18th, not too bad, but not too great. One of their starting corners was out for the majority of the season, but he is now back for the playoffs and he will be playing in this Super Bowl. And their rush defense is ranked 8th. Pretty good, especially when you're going against the one of the best rushing offenses in the league. They're only allowing 19.2 points a game, and they're ranked 8th in red zone defense. And they ranked 8th in the red zone defense in the season, and they're pretty much doing the same numbers in the playoffs. So not a big difference in red zone defense in comparison to the season and now the playoffs. They have a terrible third down defense. It ranked 26th during the season. They were allowing 43.3% a conversion rate, and now they're allowing 48.4 conversion rate on third downs in the playoffs. So they're doing worse in the playoffs than they are doing in the season. During the season, the red zone defense ranked 8th with a TD rate of 51.9. In the playoffs, their TD rate they're allowing for the red zone defense, they're now allowing in the playoffs 54.5. So they're not doing too good in the playoffs in those two third down defense and red zone defense. Now let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs offense. It ranked 16th, averaging 327 yards. Their pass offense is ranked 14th, averaging 222 yards, but they're averaging 197 passing yards in the playoffs. The rushing offense was a little bit, it's worse than the passing offense. It ranked 22nd in this season, averaging 105 yards. And in the playoffs, they're only averaging 92.5 yards. So they're not doing too great in the rushing department in the playoffs. Their offense is averaging 22.6 points in the season, and they're averaging 27.5 points in the playoffs. So they're doing much better in the playoffs when it comes to scoring. Their playoff season in the red zone offense is about the same as in the regular season. It's about 54%, so they're not a big difference there. They have a great third down offense, which ranks second in the regular season with a 48.5 conversion rate. And the playoff and in the playoffs, the rate is a bit worse though. It's 45%, but still not too big of a difference and not too bad. They rank third in fourth down conversion. The Eagles are, both the Eagles and Chiefs are in the top 5 in fourth down conversions, but I believe Chiefs are ranked number 2. They're ranked third. I'm sorry. And they have allowed 41 sacks, which ranks 17th. Kansas City Chiefs, little gambling tidbit here for you guys. Kansas City Chiefs are 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 games, and the Chiefs are 4-1 straight up against the spread in their last 5 games against the Eagles. So they've been dominating the Eagles, pretty recently here. Also, this is a crazy Patrick Mahomes stat. He is 7-0 against the spread in the playoffs when the spread is inside of 3 points. And this spread is only 1.5, so not good news if you're an Eagles bettor. Now let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have the number 1 ranked defense, the number 1 passing defense during the season, a top 10 rushing defense. They've only allowed 174 yards during the regular season, but they're allowing 245 yards during the playoffs, so a bit of a drop, not too good. But in my opinion, the Eagles had to go through tougher offenses to get to the Super Bowl in the playoffs. They played against the Packers, a top 10 offense, and they played against the Rams, who have Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Williams. I take those. I'd rather play the Texans than the Bills. I know the Bills, they have they're a great team, but come on, there's no weapons on that offense besides Cook and Allen. So I think the Eagles had a tougher time going against better offenses to get to the Super Bowl. Like I said, the Eagles' rushing defense is ranked in the top 10. They're number 10, that is. They allowed 104.2 yards in the season, and they're only allowing 105.7 yards in the playoffs, so not a big difference there. They allowed 17.8 points in the season, and they're allowing 18.3 points in the playoffs, so also not a big difference there, which is really good to see. They're ranked 5th in red zone defense, allowing 50% TD rate, but it has been worse in the playoffs. They're averaging a TD rate of 61.5% in the playoffs comparison to the season, so a bit of a drop there. Their third down defense was ranked 3rd in the season, allowing conversion rate of 35.5%, and their playoffs they're allowing 43.5%. So also a little bit of drop off there from the season. Not good to see. But now let's talk about the Eagles' offense. The total offense in the season ranked 8th, and they're pretty much averaging 367 yards for the season and in the playoffs, so not a big difference between that. Their passing offense ranked 29th, averaging 187.4 yards in the season, but in the playoffs they're only averaging 138 yards. So a bit of a drop off in the passing offense in comparison to the season to the playoffs, but the Eagles are a rushing team, and that's not even debatable. They rush. They run their ball more than any other team in the NFL. They had the 2nd ranked rushing offense that averaged 179 yards in the season, but in the playoffs they're averaging 227 yards. So way big difference, and that's really great to see. So the Eagles passing average yards in the playoffs has dropped from the season, not too great, but in the rushing offense has went up dramatically from the season to the playoffs. So there's the big difference there. The Eagles offense, scoring offense, was ranked 7th, averaging 27.2 points in the season, but they're averaging 35 points in the playoffs. A big difference in that was that they dropped 55 points on the mediocre Washington Commanders, so that has a lot to do with it. The red zone offense is ranked 15th. They average 57.4 TD rate, and in the playoffs, they're averaging 61.5 TD rate. So they're doing better in the red zone in the playoffs than they were in the season. The Eagles ranked 10th in the third down conversion ranked, and they're converting 41.7%, and they are converting less in the playoffs at 36.1%. So their third down conversion rate is worse in the playoffs than it was to the season. So not too great, to hear if you're an Eagles better. The Eagles are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games, and they're also 3-0 against the spread as an underdog, the best in the NFL. So they're 3-0 against the spread when they have been an underdog this whole season. So with all that being said, I broke down the games. I gave you guys a bunch of stats comparing the teams, what they did in the season, what they are now doing in the playoffs. We broke down the rosters and who has the better players on each team. So now let's get after my prediction for this game. I'm going to give you guys my best bet at the end, but I'm also going to give you my gut feeling, okay? So let's give you some gambling tidbits here. And there's some really good gambling statistics here that I think will really help you, what you're going to come to, what team you want to bet on, that is, okay? So let's get with the first one. Since 2020, Super Bowl underdogs are 4-0 against the spread, and they're 3-1 on the money line. That's really great if you want to bet on the Philadelphia Eagles. Over the last 15 Super Bowls, the team without rest or a first-round bye in the postseason are 13-2-1 against the spread. That's another great gambling tidbit if you want to bet on the Eagles. Favorites are 9, 18, and 2 against the spread in the last 29 Super Bowls, and teams with a better record are 2-19-1 against the spread in the last 22 Super Bowls, featuring teams with different records. So the Kansas City Chiefs have had a better record than the Eagles. So that's another good gambling tidbit that's in the Eagles' favor. I think you see where I'm coming to. So there you go, guys. Those are the gambling statistics. Those are the gambling tidbits for this game. Now, I know they lean more towards the Philadelphia Eagles, but I think I'm showing you where I'm leaning. 2 years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs needed a fumble by Jalen Hurts, which they took back for a touchdown, and they needed bad special teams play by the Philadelphia Eagles punter to win that game by only 3 points, okay? So I don't see that happening again. Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks at not turning the ball over, and we got rid of that punter from 2 years ago and have a better punter and man. So I don't see those mistakes happening again for the Eagles. The Eagles stopped the Patriots from winning 3 in a row, winning 3 Super Bowls, and I believe they will stop the Kansas City Chiefs from winning 3 in a row. The Eagles have the better roster. We broke that down. They have 2 defenders. Their defense is the big change in all this. They have 2 defenders in Zach Bond and Carter, who will be in the top 5 for Defensive Player of the Year in the voting. So that is a big difference. The running room is much better. Kansas City Chiefs have a lot of the same guys, okay? And Kelsey is slower. I know they have some new draftees, but there's not a big difference from the Chiefs team from 2 years ago to the Chiefs team this year ago. So I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles money line to stop the Kansas City Chiefs from three-peating. So give me the Eagles money line. It's also the best value I believe you can get. I also like Jalen Hurts as an anytime touchdown, so mark that as well. But I think the Eagles come in. They shut all the doubters wrong, because I can see all the money going towards the Kansas City Chiefs come Sunday. So give me the Eagles money line to get revenge from 2 years ago and stop the Kansas City Chiefs from winning 3 Super Bowls in a row. So with that, guys, thank you, and fly, Eagles, fly. So guys, thank you for watching this small channel. I know you could watch a bunch of other people as they predict the Super Bowl. As I said, at the end of the Super Bowl, I will give you guys my overall record. I already told you guys it's over 55% at predicting the spread. Once again, I like the Eagles money line. That's my gut feeling play. But I also think the best play is under 49. I think this is not going to be a shootout like 2 years ago when they played against each other. I think this will be a more close, connected game. But I have ultimately the Eagles winning 24-21, around that range. So guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It goes a long way. We're going to break down each MLB team. We're going to go if we think they're going to go over, under their win and loss totals. So watch out for that. And we're going to do some fast predictions on the NBA, give you I'm going to put those out on my TikToks, my YouTube shorts, get you my best NBA plays every single day until the end of the NBA season. So guys, like I said, thank you for watching during the NFL season. Like and subscribe. It goes a long way. I love doing this. So with that, guys, thank you. And I can't wait. Fly, Eagles, fly. Win it, baby. Get the revenge. I'm going to be screaming and hollering, running up and down during that whole game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great time. Bet responsibility. And I hope to see you guys in my future videos. So with that, guys, I will see you on the next one.